side because all I want to do is like buy a hostel and do it better than Jose did it in Puerto Rico. Live that kind of life.
Well, shit, we might be able to buy Jose's depending on if he I would love to get Jose's. If I don't think those guys could withstand Maria. If they got some real damage, they might just want to cash out. The mom seems like she's tired of it. Anyways.
Well, the mom's totally tired of it.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking to one of my buddies. He actually went back because he's doing some relief efforts over there right now with like funding solar panels and stuff.
Well, I'm on this new trip. I'm going to start the Psychedelic Underground Railroad. It's like PUR per Psychedelic Underground Railroad. And it's going to be spread through Airbnbs. And then we're just going to we're going to do it Harriet Tubman style. Just try to get as many people to trip as much as possible. And maybe...
that's like literally, I wrote a short story about that.
Oh, yeah? Well, you might have predicted, but...
I literally wrote that shit.
It's dope.
That's wild, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to, put more of my ideas into action. I think I got more to offer the world than real estate, so... Trying to, blog
totally
more and other shit.
But I thought you were just, you're living in New York City, you gotta make it right, so...
Well, I don't know. I thought that, but then I stopped paying, and my life didn't really change. It actually got better, so... I mean, that's the court this Friday is going to probably tell me otherwise, but so far, I guess I didn't have to pay my bills all those years. I thought I did, but...
Hey, how's your sister doing at the show?
She's good. She's she's alive, she's in Brooklyn with a boyfriend. And they're, but they're happy. We meet up when we can meet up. She'll probably be coming over for my birthday's on Thursday, I think. I think Thursday's the 15th, right? So, she's probably going to be meeting up with me Thursday or Friday. We're going to have something. But you're leaving, what, tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow. I come back Sunday.
Oh, shit. Well, I mean, we'll definitely, link up, especially when the weather's getting warmer. Yaya's living with me now, and my other friend, Davina, so I got, a funny house situation.
I thought you had some trouble with her. She was back in...
Florida. No, she came back. She's clean now. She's trying to be sober, but...
Oh, awesome. Good for her.
Yeah, so she's hanging out.
And Yaya's cool with her ex in Mexico and stuff?
I don't even know. There's something different it's on again, off again. So, it's just something.
Y'all are good?
I don't know. It is what it is. It's it's an on again, off again thing, but we, what are you? So you're drunk right now, or you're drinking and you're thinking of me? That's really sweet.
No, dude, I just, it's the 13th, and you're 13 Carmine.
Oh, shit, that's pretty good, yeah.
And you sent me your poem, 13 Carmine.
You know what? Yeah, that's going to be the fucking name of our podcast. It's going to be Channel 13, so I'm going to turn the proud...
13 Carmine, that's why I was thinking of you. And I had Shaz that phone in my contacts, and, no, I've been thinking of you, man.
That's cool. Well, we should hang out sometime and fucking... Yeah, it's funny that you're going to Florida. So it's like a family thing. I can't tag along. I'll buy my ticket. Hang out with you for a little bit. Introduce me to the parents. You're like, this is Shaz. That's my secret relationship. I haven't really told you about it, but for this trip, he's going to be with me, so he's coming.
I really wish, because I met someone who reminded me a little bit of you, except for he's like a total douchebag.
Oh.
He's not like you in that regard.
I could be a little douchebag, but I don't think I'm that malicious.
You can be a little bit of a douchebag, but did you ever watch New Girl?
I think so.
Schmidt from New Girl.
Okay. Is it like a sociopath or something?
Nah, he's like frat star douchey, but he trips a lot.
Yeah, there's these tripping bros, this new breed of bro.
Well, I met him because he was hammered in the sewer pool, and I heard him talking on the phone about drugs, and I was like, oh, I should probably get this guy's number, and he started flirting with me, and my friend was like, dude.
How about your romances with your drug dealers? Are you still with that one dude, the Somalian or whatever?
We still are weirdly in contact every once in a while, but I haven't seen him in a minute, and then I'm still on again, off again with the guy from work, and then
the rapper.
Yeah, the rapper. Don't you laugh at the rapper, because you couldn't rap on those gay Dilla beats, even though you lied to me that you could.
Yeah, you remember that? You were all zannied out. I didn't think you'd remember anything from that night.
Oh, motherfucker, don't question my memory on shit like that.
Dude, you remember how to get home and stuff. You were pretty out.
I remember how to get home, and I remember that you can't rap on Jazz Shazzy beats Shaz, alright?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I remember.
Yeah, you spent the night a couple times.
He and I are still on again, off again, and then the guy I'm in love with got 5 years probation.
Oh, that's cool. So he's still out, right?
Well, he took the plea. He was gonna get like a shit ton of time in jail, so he took the plea deal.
Hmm.
Which is like good and bad. He's pretty upset about it. He's taking it out on me, which is awesome.
Oh, do you still like hang out with that guy then?
Well, I mean, he's on probation, so he's stuck in Massachusetts, and
Did you visit him at all or no?
I can't really because I can't really drive right now. Like I'm working.
I mean, are you happy though? Cute. Like, has it been a good couple months, 6 months or whatever?
It's been a pretty shitty couple months, man. It's been a pretty rough couple months. So.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I don't know. I'm about to try and reset when I get back from Miami. I have some tabs. I have some shrooms. I have some ketamine.
Alright, I took a little bit of a break from, like, I call it an energy fast, but I kind of, like, just let my phone go and just canceled a bunch of, like, I just didn't spend my energy anywhere, and, like, I slowed down and only ate, like, a bagel a day, like, really just didn't even move, and just thought a lot, and then now I'm restarting my life myself, but, like, sometimes you need to do that, audit where your energy is going, where everything that demands your energy, and that's why I stopped paying my bills, and I'm kind of, like, addressing it in the future, like, I have a goal, probably in April, to get back started, but, like, yeah, just really auditing who wants my attention and energy and whether they're worth it, and then rebuild from there, rebuild from zero. Like, I think everyone should do it. So.
No, I hear you, and like I've been thinking about you a lot because I've been like really wishing I could get your advice on shit.
Yeah, we would have some good conversations. I remember you're like my favorite young person. Like I don't talk to many people, and I especially don't talk to many people who are like that much younger than me, but like with me and you had normal conversations. We were peers in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and your sister would always talk about it. She would be like, I can't handle it when you and Chaz get in the room together, especially if y'all are on the fast.
She would say that? That's funny.
Yeah, she would say that to me. She would be like, because you guys should keep that each other out and just keep going and going. Like,
Yeah, you know, there's only certain types of conversations you can have with certain types of people. Actually, I just ran into someone like that recently, and I've known her for like 6 years, and like we had like such good conversations. But like I was always trying to go after her, and then she just recently like kind of is acting like open to the idea, and I'm kind of like, I was telling her, I was like, it's weird because then you resent the person. You're like, man, I'm not going to now because like you rejected me in the past. It was weird. It's kind of funny.
For sure. Hey, I'm glad that you reconnected with Yaya there, because I always liked her. I don't know, I felt like she was kind of good for you in some ways. So.
I see. But yeah, and then in other ways, we're like trying to figure it out. I'm trying to learn how to give people space for their character to be revealed. You know, what I've learned recently by slowing down and listening to myself is we're only like 10% of who we think we are. Like, you're really your subconscious writing your consciousness, not the other way around. So if I just like record anyone or listen to anyone long enough, I'll start to get their value system, and it's usually not. They're not aware of it. Like, we're not aware of all the bullshit that comes out of our mouth. And I realize that by, like, I've been doing videos of myself and then watching the videos and editing them down to what I feel is the wisdom. And, like, there's a lot of just unfounded bullshit that comes out of it.
You sure you really don't know, though?
Say what?
You sure you really don't know, though?
No, I'm just saying that, like, it started, like, just in the shower. I was like, what is thinking? What's behind, like... There's obviously, like, you think, and then you speak, and then you write, and these are all slower forms of thinking. And then there's something that happens before the thoughts. So there's a monkey in your mind who's, like, pushing your thoughts out like books off a shelf. But what'd you say?
No, you're right. I totally agree with you that, like, it's, like, scientifically proven that
there's a subconscious.
You decide things before you...
Exactly. 95% of your decisions are already made. You're just kind of floating with it. So I'm trying to... Yeah, how self-aware you can be, that's what I'm trying to learn. So I'm trying to backdoor into my subconscious through, like, through self-awareness, through, like, recording yourself, but also through psychedelics. So, like, mushroom trips, and really, like, I'm really being able to, like, identify where the ideas are coming from. Like, this is rational mind, but then other stuff, like, when I have, like, my subconscious mind giving me ideas on trips, I'm kind of able to, like, distinguish between rational and irrational modes of thinking, and I'm noticing how I switch back and forth between it. It's interesting. I'm like, I think I'm getting somewhere as far as, like, ways to, like, analyze your mind. So I'm sure you would be like,
No, I agree with you, but at the same time, like, do you necessarily want to be aware of how self-aware you are?
oh yeah, because what I'm doing is I'm taking my ideas to the public, so I have to kind of like level up a little bit. I have to be very aware of what's in my mind before I present it to the public, because you'll be hit from all sides, and you want to just, you'll be unshakable if you've already addressed all the possible ways in which you can be interpreted, you know.
That's true. If you're coming at people with something that they're not necessarily gonna like.
Yeah, you gotta come with that fire.
What fire are you coming with, Shaz?
That fire, burn that shit down fire. That fucking, like,
99% fire? What's it gonna be?
dude, who came up with those words you just said?
Come on, you did, so come on.
No, David Graeber did, who's, David Graeber is a professor of anarchism at Yale University, and he came up with the 99% ideology, which then Occupy Wall Street popularized. So you just said someone's words that was just a viral idea. So I'm coming up with viral ideas, but they'll be...
You told me that shit. You told me that you were in the trenches.
That I came up with that shit?
Yeah, you came up with that shit, but you told me you were down in the trenches with all that.
Nah, I was just observing. Nah, I never believed those guys. The dumbasses, no. Yeah, I could pretty much call stuff. I knew exactly who you were when I first met you. I call stuff right as soon as I encounter it. I don't wait. So.
No, you didn't, because you thought I was, like, asexual.
I said that because I was trying to get in your pants. That was just like a line. I'm trying to be straight up now, but you know, there's always a line. As long as I was trying to get with you, I'm just trying to... That's what, with a girl like you get at a girl like you by trying to teach you about your sexuality, because it puts it in your head to be a little bit more sexual, which makes my job a little bit easier. So, like, I don't mean to blow the game, but, like, yeah, if I'm trying to, like, still get with you, then I still tease you until, like, I'll show Shaz I'm sexual. I'll fucking give him a blowjob right here. Well, okay, I guess. If you really want to be right. It kind of works sometimes. I got you and Karen to get naked with me on my bed, right? I mean, we were pretty naked. But I don't know, that was like more of the vibe anyways. That was your friend, actually. She initiated all that. That was fun, man. I think about that sometimes. I'm like, man, I should have hooked up with her, but it doesn't matter.
I told her, I wish I could find those texts for you. I told her, I was like, honestly, I'd put money down right now that you hook up with this dude. And she was like, really, dude? And I was like, yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, we both kind of got that. Why not? I got this new thing. I'm just like, if you sleep when you're tired, you eat when you're hungry. Why not fuck when you're horny? Any other narrative, right? Any other narrative is just a social control mechanism by a tribe who try to control you, like the church or the state. But they try to insert their narratives into your sexuality. But no, it's just like, you fuck when you're horny. Now, if you want to choose the same partner, different partners, it's like eating vegetarian or organic, whatever. But like, yeah, no, every time I feel the sexual impulse, I either like, if it's like persistent, I try to let it out through like masturbation or fucking someone, or even just like cuddling or something. But yeah, I think it's healthy to itch all of the things as they happen in your body.
I miss your place, though.
Yeah, no, I miss talking to you too. I mean, you're one of the few people I could just like run my, train of thought, stream of consciousness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I miss that, because, I don't know, I don't get to do that a lot.
Yeah, you're an original person, me too, so we should probably spend more time together,
Yeah, exactly.
But sometimes absence makes it grow fonder, so like you gotta like take a little break and everything.
I just picked up the bat for it. I can't even tell you how many times I thought of that dial like that. I can't even tell you how many times I thought about just showing up on your fucking...
You should have. That's what I figured. If I think before my phone died, I blocked you, but it's just like if anyone wants to really get at me.
You
did I?
And I was like...
How'd you know? How can you tell on your end?
I got it. I understood. Like, I got it.
Well, I want a little peace, and sometimes you're a little bit chaotic, and I'm like, I don't know if I want tease chaos in my life right now while I'm trying to figure out my own head.
Trust me, I know. I know, but I just, like, I didn't, you know what I wanted to do? I was gonna just give you, because you never read in Lovey in Las Vegas.
I don't think so.
And it's your birthday, and I was gonna just leave a copy at your door.
Oh, that'd be cute.
But when I was going to Miami, I didn't get a chance. So
No, so now you could just swing by.
I figured I'd just try to zap from it, but I did copy for you.
Now you could just swing by though, see? What are you doing?
Unblock me, motherfucker.
What are you doing tomorrow?
What's up?
What are you doing tomorrow?
I'm going to Miami tomorrow.
Oh, what time though?
Early, 7:30 in the morning.
Fuck that, alright.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not even in the city right now. I'm flying out of New Jersey.
I got friends in Miami. I'll make a trip down there. That'd be hilarious. I just hit you in Miami. Hey, what's up? Yeah, what's up?
No, wait. Dude, go to Miami. Let me come meet you. Because, like, I'm there with family, but, like, I'll go out at night. Like,
that's funny. I heard it's crazy.
You should go to my place.
CT, this is why I took a break from you. You start introducing all these crazy fucking impulsive adventures, and you're super impulsive and I am, and then I end up in Miami.
This is why everyone ends up having to take a break. I'm like, we should just do this, and they're like, dude, what the fuck? This is how we end up in fucking jail.
What about your Chinese friend? Is she still in China?
Which Chinese? Oh, Bella? You mean Bella?
Yeah.
She had a miserable time. Yeah, she's back. She's still dating that dude who's in Alabama. She's good. The reason I'm drunk is I was just hanging out with her brother, actually, her twin brother. He's a cool dude. You'd really like her brother, actually. Y'all would really get along.
Yeah, she seemed like a very. She seemed very.
You know how Bella's super anxious?
Alright.
He's like Bella, only not anxious.
I mean, she doesn't seem too anxious. She just she's got like pretty girl anxiety. It's like you attract a lot of attention, so she's not really sure how to use that energy.
Yeah. But he's a very good looking dude. But he's queer, so like he has some issues with that.
He's gay?
Yeah, and like he's like bi, gay, whatever.
I got it.
I don't know. I can't keep up with that shit. But he and I have always been good friends, and I was just over there. He was like artsy and stuff. I'm starting to get back into drawing and stuff. And
yeah, you were good, I think.
And writing, so I was showing him some old stuff I wrote, and I was telling him
I wrote my autobiography. I should send it to you.
No shit, did you really?
Yeah, it's in 6 chapters online, and then you the menus are.
You can't have written your autobiography.
I did that in December. That's why I stopped working in real estate. I was like, I guess this isn't really what I was doing, and I kind of wrote
but
my.
You're not nearly old enough to have written your autobiography.
What do you mean? What do you?
Whatsoever yet.
Dude, I might be at the end of my life. You never know. I might have some fatal brain tumor.
Can you let me let one cyclone of tea in before you write the autobiography?
Oh, you wanted to fit in a chapter? Yeah, I don't think.
Come on, let me fuck some shit up before you finish the autobiography.
Yeah, I mean, there's more. There's gonna be more autobiographies. It's just volume 1. Hopefully I have 3 volumes.
Alright, fine. This can be volume. Okay, you gotta promise me.
I'm thinking 105 is a good time to live, and 35 is good, and then I'll do one at 70, and then I'll do a last one.
Okay, 35 is alright, like Hemingway.
You'll be in the 71. When I'm 70, you'll have a cool little chapter, and then.
I get one chapter? Damn it. Cool. I want at least
I had sex with it.
trilogy.
I hooked up with this young Japanese girl, and I told her about this book about my fuck book. Yeah,
About what?
that fuck book, where you write your fuck stories, your conquests in the book.
I was thinking about you too, because I was looking through my old photos and I had screenshots of that, and I was like, fucking Shaz, man. I wonder if she's.
Oh, you had screenshots of that book?
I did.
So I told her about it, and when we were I was telling her about my writing. She was like, "Am I gonna be in your book?" And I was like, thinking in my mind, "Look at this bitch. She wants to be in my fuck book. That's weird." She had sex with me and liked the fact that I was getting it documented. Or I don't know if I have. I don't think I have actually.
So did she make it into the book or not?
I mean, I haven't written it. I have so many writing projects, but that's one of them. I do want to write about all the women that I've learned from. That's how I would frame it. Is you talk about your encounters because you should have learned something from them, or else you're not. If you're just fucking people to fuck them, there's a lot of bad sex happening out there. You should be learning how to be a better lover and a better human being, right? So that's why I want to write about it. Help popularize that viewpoint. I think would be good.
Yeah, I know. I was talking to my friend last night. I was like, writer's block is really shitty. It's like really tough. And
Writer's
I
block?
was saying to him, is I was like, you know, like you look at like Nas, you look at like, you look at Eminem, even like Biggie and Tupac, like they were killed. But like, you know, like what if they peaked? What if they peaked at those albums? You know, like Nas definitely peaked at Omatic. No one's
Yeah.
arguing that any other album was better than Omatic. You know, so it's just like. I'm like, what if I peaked at like this one like short story I wrote like back when I was like 19 years old?
Isn't that funny? Yeah, you're just like, your biggest issue is just lack of confidence, which comes from, you're riding the wave. There's a wave of experience, which I'll try to put into like, in my writing in like better terms, but you have all that raw ability with none of the experience to temper it and none of the wisdom. But once you gain the life experience and wisdom, you'll start to lose the raw ability. And you'll be able to create art if you can still, within your youth and your raw ability, have enough wisdom and form to like temper it into a piece of art. Now, like the prodigies are those who learn it at an early age, so that way as soon as they come into their own, they're already like ready to be masters. But then like more normal people, just like, it's a balance. It's the same balance I look at in Johnny and other people. I'm like, I wonder if they're ever gonna like learn the self-discipline and wisdom to. So what?
How's he doing? How's Gianni doing?
But if you read my autobiography, that'll kind of explain my story of how I learned my path.
I will read it.
But how's Johnny? I don't know. I blocked Johnny too. I block everyone.
You haven't talked to him?
I emailed him just like when he emailed me saying, "Hey yo, the phone got turned off," and I was like, "Fuck you, man."
I reached out to him a while ago. I was just sending him some album I thought he might like, but I didn't hear back from him.
Yeah, he said like, "Yo, the phone's shut off, and is everything okay?" I was like, "Fuck you, man. You only ever wanted anything from me. You don't care about me. I'll fucking."
Aw, come on, man. You know that's not true.
Well, that's how he emailed me back. "Oh, come on, man. You know that's not true." Yeah, but I don't know.
Alright, you know that's not true, Shaz.
Yeah, but I mean, it's what I had to say to him. I don't know if it's true or not, but I did have to sell him that because I was feeling it.
You don't need to be as cynical as you are.
No, well, I believe in many truths. That was just, I was feeling that, and like I told you, the sex thing. If you have an itch, scratch it. So I was feeling it. I felt like I should get off my chest because I have peace. If I hold that in, I don't have peace because I have regret. Like, oh, I should have told him something. So like, I blow up at people even if I don't think it's where the wisdom is going to settle. But it's a part of the conversation. It's better to have a blow up and then.
I said that to someone about you.
Say what?
Yeah, I did. I said that to Kira about you.
What'd you say?
I said when one of my texts to you wasn't going through, I said that he blocked me because of this, and I was like.
Wait, why'd I block you?
I thought you blocked me because you thought that I was being too chaotic, and you were a little shaken up because you had just had all that shit go down with your friend who was the heroin junkie and was crashing at your place and brought all that energy into your space.
Yeah.
And you saw how I was with the mix at the time, and you were worried that I was going to be that kind of influence in your life, and you didn't want that.
Well, I mean, I also kind of liked you, and I didn't think that was what you needed. You didn't need, like, that type of energy, so, like, I needed a little bit of distance to get some perspective,
You didn't like me like that.
A little bit, yeah. I thought some potential. I'm all about, like, the connection. We had, like, some good conversations.
Yeah, we had a connection like that, but, like.
That's enough for me, but, like, I thought that's not really that wouldn't be a good avenue to take it. So, sometimes you take a step back just to recalibrate your own brain. Just be like, you remind yourself, like, you're attractive and you can get anyone and you don't have to, get stuck on one thing. And then you just, like, you appreciate people for what they are. So, like, you contacted me out of the blue because it's my birthday. It's like there's a lot of, like, sincerity and niceness to it. So I like this avenue better than the avenue I seem to have been stuck on, which was a little bit more, like, selfish, I think. So yeah, sometimes people take a break for their own reasons.
I mean, I tried reaching out to you on my birthday too. I was thinking about you on my birthday because I was back with Kira, and we were rolling. We were thinking about you. And we saw some dude at this fucking Skid Row warehouse party who looks like you, and we were like, this dude looks just like Shaz. And we were staring this guy down, and he was like, yo, you girls good? And we were like, yeah,
guys are both wrong.
He was like, alright. Like, he was like super weirded out by the whole thing.
But you
He
guys,
just reminded us of you.
I think about you a lot. Sometimes I think about you, like, I'll want to talk to you about something, and I'll be like, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
I was gonna eventually reach out to you. Like, if it went too long, I'd eventually be like, I wonder what T's doing.
No, I've kind of been waiting around for your birthday.
That's cute. Well, I also knew you were a little bit like, you're a little bit shy like that. Like, you won't reach out to me right away. Like, it took you forever to contact me after Puerto Rico.
That's not true. I contacted you like pretty soon.
Nah, you only did because, like, your friend was coming to town. You're like, my friend's coming to town, and I bet her that she would hook up with you. That was, like, really the only reason we started hanging out.
No, I hit you up because I didn't want to bother you. I don't like to bother people.
That's what I mean. See, yeah, you're a little bit shy about that, about, like, asking, hit people up.
Well, you know, I mean, like, I knew that you, like, would have psychedelics. Like, I don't like to bother people for that.
It's related to your writing, how you're talking about, like, what if I peaked? It's just like most of your problems are self-inflicted. Most of your wounds are self-inflicted from your, you have to build up a strong sense of self. And maybe that's why you like me, because I already see who you are and who you could be. So it's like, those are the best people to have around, the people who are already like, see your potential. Like, in my mind, you're pretty much like, you could have all the success in the world and you'd be the same person in me, because you're someone in my mind who's like, has a lot of potential, whether you do it or not. We feed each other's egos.
Yeah, exactly. We feed each other's egos.
But not in a bad way. And like, I think I'm realistic about it. Yeah.
Because I don't feel like I've let you down. Like,
No.
I don't feel like I've like disappointed you in the way that.
No, your life is your own.
My egos, I feel like I've let down.
Yeah, any negativity coming from me was maybe like just my misguided sex drive. That's all. It's just like sometimes, as a guy, you just got to check it.
That's not what I thought it was.
What'd you think? Oh, you thought it was like the protective aspect of me, like just being like worried about your life path?
Yeah.
That's giving yourself too much credit. You're not the first tragic person I met in my life. When I first met you, I made my peace with your path. I was like, whatever happens to T, that's on her.
No, I knew that, but I thought you would literally just clean out the beginning of your life.
Ah, no. Well, I mean, honestly, that's exactly. It was a little bit of house cleaning because I needed a break. Yeah, my friend told me that.
Exactly, and I thought you thought that I was about to be that next person, and I wasn't gonna be, but like I thought you thought that, and I was like, I get that he thinks that.
Yeah.
And I'm not
I mean, it's not because with her, it's like I got room for one person like that in my life, so it's not like anyone else would ever be. But like, but it was a part of that house cleaning where I was like, well, let me take inventory now of like, because also I did a lot of psychedelics last year, so I was just like, I was just gonna take December to kind of like review all my notes and peer inside my head, and then that just turned into like, you know what, need a lot more time, and I've just been putting time into myself, and I feel like a lot healthier and happier. Like, this is a time that now I could accept you back into my life because I feel like so good. I'm like, I want to improve all my friends' lives. Like, I think I have some strength and wisdom and love to offer you now. That's nice. You hit me at a good time.
I mean, look, I'm like, I could use a friend.
Oh, T.
Like a shithead, like, college kid, or like someone who's trying to, like, get in my pants. Like,
Well, I mean, like, pants need company too, so that's not always.
Buy drugs for me,
Yeah.
whatever. Those are most of my friends at this point.
You could probably use some better choices.
Well, yeah, that
goes without saying. You're still on your self-destructive kick. You're on this kick where you're like, if anything survives my fucking craziness, then maybe it's worth keeping. But we'll see if it survives at first.
That's sort of where I'm at. It's like a nuclear holocaust.
Yeah. Because it's easier to destroy than to create, right?
What's left is Keith Richards and the roaches. So, you have the best of the best and the worst of the worst. And those two things are what survives, and that's what we keep around, right?
But, I mean, you might have this, like, insecurity where you don't feel like you could be a certain type of girl, so you have to be another type of girl. And then, like, once you, like, actually come into your own, you'll realize that you could be anyone that you want. You could be your own creation, as opposed to, like, it seems like you feel ill-fitted to the expectations that have surrounded you. But once you start to, like, once those mean less, then whatever your like true expression of yourself will like be left. Like, yeah, I think a lot of your issues are like just, they're fake bullshit. Like, they're like illusions. Like, a lot of your stresses and like insecurities are just like made up shit in your head.
I just like.
But see, you need more success to prove it to yourself. Once you start having success, like once I made money in New York, I was like, fuck, I'm a boss. Like, I knew I was a boss, but like to be able to like show people paychecks, it's like, yeah, dude, like I'm on another level than you.
But you know what like sucks for me is that I do all of my friends work for them, and they're all out there getting their like college degrees, and I'm
Oh, you want to help me with media? I'm trying to launch my podcast. So I could get some like shit under your belt.
yeah, I mean like
We have great conversations. Let's have them in front of the camera and get subscribers to make. Let's get a nice little 10 grand a month income stream for you, and then you'll buy some space and confidence to actually like do some cool shit with your brain, I bet.
I just want you to know how many times I've thought about just showing up on your doorstep.
That's really sweet. I'm getting in my manic mode, so I won't talk too much about my projects, but that's really sweet. I really like the.
In the past couple of months, and how much it took for me not to do that.
Why? What do you mean? Why didn't you? Maybe you'd have a different life. You'd have a better life if you did more of those impulsive things. That would impress the hell out of me.
Well, because like I didn't know how you'd react.
Well, what if I thought it was a romantic gesture, though? That might be bad.
No, I knew you wouldn't think that.
It might be. It would look cute, especially if you showed up on Valentine's Day with like a chocolate or some shit. And like a trench coat with like lace underwear underneath.
It would have been more like showing up like really fucked up and or like
Yeah, that was
disheveled.
yeah, that's kind of what I expected. I expected some fucked up tea. Hey yo, I won't remember if I'm here, so can you just write a note for me in the morning and put it in my pocket?
Yeah, there it is. Like, no, who we're talking to. Like, I would have shown up. Like,
So for the first thing we have to do is get you to imagine better possibilities for your life, because that's not good shit to keep space in your head.
no, dude, do you want to see the piece of? Okay, so you know, you got like the 50, 60 grand trust fund, and I'm like, I didn't get it at 21. I figure my parents pushed it to 25, and like, what are you doing in 4 years, man? Because
You didn't get it at 20. Oh, so but you don't really know.
if they didn't give it to me at 21, they're gonna give it to me at 25, assuming I don't OD by then. So like,
Well, I mean, but like the whole thing is, if you don't have your life together at 25, why would they give it to you at 25? They're probably just waiting for you to get your shit together.
no, they legally would have changed it to 25. No, I'm being serious right now. Like, when I think about it, I'm like, I need someone who like kind of knows things, and I want Shaz. I want to go into business with Shaz.
We should.
I want you to do the numbers, and I want to be tea at the table.
Maybe we'll have a
Showing at
project.
the table.
We should put more effort into the friendship. I'm sure we'll have a project eventually because we enjoy each other's company so much.
Alright, I'm gonna show up at your doorstep though.
Tonight?
I wish tonight. If I was in New York City, I'd show up tonight.
Oh, you're in Jersey?
I'm in Jersey, yeah, I'd show up in New York.
No problem. Well, I'm glad you called. You probably didn't expect me to pick up. That was hilarious that you were speaking like you were on the answer machine.
Yeah, I totally thought I was on the answer machine.
And now we
I'm
got
shocked you had the answer machine.
we got the beginning of something again. So we're gonna build on this. I'm gonna see you probably like next week. You're coming back Sunday, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be back Sunday. Well, how should I contact you? Or should I just show up and like hope you're there?
Just hit me up. I'm usually around, and you're coming.
You said you don't have a cell anymore. Should I just call the landline?
I usually pick it up, and I think we got emails too. I got your friend's shitty story you emailed me, so I know we do that.
What did I email?
Your friend's shitty story. Did he kill himself yet, or do we still have shitty writing to look forward to?
Oh, that. Oh, that's sad.
I know, I'm sorry.
He did not kill himself yet.
Oh man.
He's like fairly close, so like be nice.
Yeah, no, I know.
He has tried in the past, so again, be
Oh,
nice.
jeez.
Be like considerate. I'm joking. I'm like not
No, I mean, but like also he's your friend. Like that's why I don't have friends like that because I wouldn't probably be the best person to talk to. So.
Oh, are you kidding me? I'm not the best person. Like, Kira's tried to kill herself several times.
Oh, that's so bad.
Constantly.
I would like to get people help, but I also like acknowledge that I'm not that help. So like kind of point them in the right direction without like.
No, I'm not that help at all. Like if someone tries to kill themselves, I'm like, well, then you should have like done it successfully. Like you're a fucking idiot for failing at that. It's not
And I understand that's probably my own projection too of my own self-hate, but like there's just
yeah, absolutely.
there's only so much bandwidth. It's like I got so much other stuff I'm thinking about. I'm not going to think about because it's given so much too much power over your life. It's like I can't think about your death as well as my own. Like that's just you only got one life to be responsible for until you have a family. Like I understand context of like loving things beyond yourself. But.
Where are you with that? With like D-Day and shit? Like where's the existential crisis and all that coming?
What do you? Oh, with what? Does it sound like I have an existential?
Like birthday, like year in review, existential.
Oh, I've never really had that. I've recognized something about myself. I never really had much of an ego, so I've spent so many Thanksgivings and holidays and birthdays just not doing anything. All I care about is time to think, and like I've always had a continuing discussion in my head since I was young. So like, if I have a birthday and it's an excuse for me to spend a day alone, so I could continue my ongoing discussion with myself, that's great. But sometimes I feel an obligation with like family and friends to do something, or like this year will be a good excuse to do some mushrooms on my roof, but. I've never really bought into birthdays are one of those ideas that when I was young I was like that's an interesting concept, not really going to buy into it, and no one's ever convinced me otherwise. I always thought it was kind of like a silly, like I'm so arrogant, like even when I was young, like when you told me you had a rapper friend, I'm like yeah, he's not that good. Like I've always made my own opinions, and birthdays just never made it to my list of things that were as important enough to care about. Like
I really want you to have kids.
Kids?
Oh,
thank you. I mean, is that an offer? I'm not really. You're really confusing me now.
It is not by any means an offer.
I want you to have kids too. Where does that put us? T, I really want you to have kids. You really want me to have kids? Well, shit. This is complicated. We need to introduce more people into this equation or something else. I don't understand what you're trying to.
Okay, see, I would really like you to have kids with like a stable individual, so that they would have like some prayer of being like.
I would really like you to be stable.
Yeah, but I'm never gonna be stable.
Oh, maybe with the right guy.
Highly doubtful.
Yeah.
But like.
I think you got a little bit of like save me energy. You're like you want a guy to come in and like kind of rescue you or something.
Yeah, back in the day, but I got over that.
Or you gave up, is what you mean. But some guys, that's their type of girl, is the ones who give up on themselves and then they come in like the superhero. But you're tough because you would only like a guy who's both a superhero and the alpha male. So he has to be strong enough to and moral enough to rescue you. So what?
See, my problem is I need him to be like rescue me, but also like I have to rescue him too. So it's like we both have to be like totally dysfunctional, which is like a terrible like breeding pattern.
No, I got a workaround for that. But what it is if he's like an alpha male, so he's as bad as you can be, but he chooses not to. And chooses instead to rescue you and show you like the light, to show you how to express your full potential, but by being good instead of bad. So he's like, you need an ex-bad boy, or you need a good guy who's capable of being a bad boy.
I hate those though. That's like my least favorite type.
You've been, you know that situation I just described?
I do. They've come for me. Like, you're not for me.
Really? You've had a cool nerd? Like a nerd guy, but like he also...
Are you kidding? Absolutely. I'm like, no. I'm like, thank you, but no.
Your problem, you might just be too smart. When you're smarter than most of the people you meet, then fucking everyone bores you.
It's not even a boring thing. It's just like, I don't know. And it's just like, when like the sex is just like pretty mediocre too, and you're just like, I'm just like doing this because...
I did wonder about that. That's probably was my biggest curiosity. I was like, I wonder how it'd be to hook up with T. And I guess that got stuck in my head for a little bit.
Well, no, we talked about this.
Yeah, I talk about everything I'm thinking about usually.
We talked about everything. We always talked about everything.
Yeah, that's a pretty good relationship. Look, we could have had a 3-month relationship already, and we could have tested it out.
Because you were my Shazman, remember?
Your shaman? Your Shazman?
My shaman. You're my Shazman, my shaman.
I like that. But I mean, that's
My
the thing.
Shazman, my shaman.
The thing I think was also like you can't be friends with someone and also explore that thing because what if it ends bad and then you endanger the friendship and blah blah blah.
Exactly. You can't. But I told you, I was like, because you were like, you never had that like really emotional sex where like you're like in missionary, like looking deeply into each other's eyes, and I was like, gross. That's like way too intimate for me. Are you fucking kidding?
Wait, what happened? You remember a lot more details than I do.
Yeah. See, because you think I have no memory because of like the
Yeah.
intensive like benzo addiction and whatnot. But like shockingly, I do recall it. But yeah, no, you were like,
I was staring into your eyes.
no, you were like, we were talking about it, and we remember we were gonna fuck with Kara and send her a picture.
Oh, that was hilarious. I'm pretty sure that was just a joke though. We were just running. See, you have a problem where you'll just run with the tangent too, so you're going with it or something.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we're gonna fucking send her a picture.
we should have done it, but like.
See, that's the funny. That's an idea that we could have done it and still technically been like, but we didn't really fuck. That was just for a point. Like, it wouldn't have really counted.
No, we should have done that. I ended up telling her about it like a couple months later.
What did you think about it?
She was like, "Oh my god, that would have been so fucking funny." She was like, "I totally would have believed you guys, and I know you would not have told me for like 3 months after it happened too." And I was like, "You're absolutely right. I wouldn't have told you for like the longest time." She was like, "Wow, you guys are such assholes." But anyway, I remember I was talking to you about it. I was like, and you were like, "Yeah, you ever like had like on a picture, just like really like emotionally like connect to the person, just like looking into each other's eyes, just like whatever, like no comments, like go down it." I was just like, "No, it's really not about that. I'm like, please don't like look at me like no eye contact."
Wait, were we looking at each other's eyes and stuff?
No, we were just talking about it. We were just cuddling. We were in your sister's bed.
Yeah, that was innocent. I don't think we like.
Yeah, it was totally innocent.
You didn't get like ThreatCon 5. You got like ThreatCon 1 or 2 level interest. I wasn't like. Hopefully I wasn't like too badgering you.
No, not at all. We were just talking.
You know, sometimes you're really hard up and you really like need to be like sprayed with cold water or something. I don't know. Like you ever with a guy who like really has it in his head that he wants sex and you have to like be really clear to him, look at dude, this is just not happening.
Yeah, it doesn't usually like work out that well though.
You're one of those girls who usually you just end up having sex just to like get him like to stop asking or something or stop.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, that's really hard for like a guy to recognize that. Like sometimes it's really hard for a girl to say no. So like, you don't want to put in a position where like they just have sex to get you to stop bugging them because that's not good sex for anyone.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I'm like halfway through fucking someone and I'm like, shit, they didn't even really want to, and you sort of get that like lack of body language and just like, yeah, it's not fun for me either. Like you should have. But then as a guy, you're like, well, I guess I should have stopped pushing. This isn't like. I've done that. Like I've actually stopped having sex halfway through. I'm like, you know what, this is. Very cool.
That's interesting. I've never really thought about that from the guy's perspective.
Well, that's as you get older. That's that whole wisdom. I don't know if all guys get that, but like, better sex is a connection. So if you're really like your foreheads are touching in your whole body, like you're anticipating every one of their movements, and that's feedback to your movement, and you're really like not just building the orgasm, but building a physical, psychic, whatever you want to call it, like that feedback loop and that sense of connection and oneness. Once you have that and you have that really good sex, then it's like that's all you really want. Everything else is like, I mean, everything else feels good. You're itching that itch, but hopefully to get back in that same vein, you know? I think.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, sometimes I slow down, you know, if it's not feeling that good, it's like you slow down and you really build that connection. You're like, wait, let's just like feel each other real quick. Let's just like, let me feel you, you feel me, just sort of like really slow movements.
That's definitely like you've got to be older. You've got to be old. Younger dudes don't get that.
Oh, you don't get, that's not what you're getting.
Younger dudes do not get that. They're like, oh, sick. Like, my dick inside a pussy. Like, fucking awesome.
That's hilarious. Yeah, no, I just
like,
gave myself a fucking...
They're, like, absolutely shocked that that's something that's happening.
Yeah, no, that's what it is. You have to, like, eventually you get over the fact that I'm fucking someone. Oh, shit, I'm fucking someone. Oh, my God.
They're like, oh, my God. Like, this is actually happening. Like, eventually, like, I'm sure, and honestly, like, I thought it was something that, like, would happen after, like, 24, you know? Like, after, like, 24.
No, some old people, some adults fuck like fucking children.
Longer, man.
Yeah.
Like, it takes
I don't know, I think I've always fucked pretty good. I think you just like it's a perspective. I think you can sort of tell by like some guys. I notice I meet some people and I'm like, man, they're probably really good in bed. They're just so like sensitive to like you could just tell in a conversation. Good listeners. It's sort of
No,
cheesy, but
you can tell.
yeah, right.
No, but sometimes you can totally misread it too, or sometimes you're just not compatible with somebody.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why you have to follow your intuition because whatever you're feeling, that's the compatibility, whatever that energy is.
Or sometimes, like, okay, so like the rapper dude, like we're just super good as friends,
Right?
and he is still like just super pumped by the fact that like I'm willing to let him fuck me.
He's super pumped that you're what?
That I'm just like willing to let him fuck me. That like it's still going on.
Yeah,
And I'm just like, nah, dude, but like, we're really not that compatible, you know? But like, he's still, you know, and I'm just like, oh, like, this should just end, but I'm like too much of a pussy to end it.
and that's another thing is that like bad sex is keeping you from having good sex. It's occupying the space when you would be having good sex.
I know, that's because I'm emotionally cheating on him with the guy who's like on probation in Massachusetts.
You're so funny, T. I'm not. I'm not.
What are you gonna do?
Well, I'm not saying me, but like in the future, because like our shit's passed or whatever. Like I'm pretty stubborn, but like if you have an opportunity of like being with someone who's inspiring, me and you had like a little bit of inspiration. What if you had taken that route for a couple months? That would have like, maybe there's another like quirky, like intelligent, somewhat older, more experienced person that you can be in a relationship with, learn a little bit from, and then like create something beautiful. And you don't live with them forever, but you have like a 6-month year relationship and like grow from it, and then.
No, like, I think I might have like maybe found that dude, but like, he's also, like, I just met him. He's like my new like psychedelics plug, which is awesome because like I have a great like shrooms acid ketamine hookup, which is great. But he's like just like not my type because he has his life together.
And that's intimidating for you? Well, that's where I come into the picture. I'm going to help you improve yourself to the point that that guy won't intimidate you. So that's what you deserve to.
It's not what irritates me about him is that because I'm outwardly such like a shit show, he thinks that he's like better than me.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah, because no matter what. Yeah, go ahead.
That's what bothers me. And like every once in a while, he'll like eventually like briefly realize, and he'll be like, oh, and I'll be like, yeah, and then it's like a little better. But I've like barely even hooked up with him because we.
Have you hooked up with him? Hooked up with him?
Well, we got like super fucked up one night because he texted me literally saying, I'm really depressed. Can you come over and cuddle? We hadn't hooked up yet. I met him drunk in an Uber and gave him this is the guy I told you about. I gave him my number. And I was like, oh, I'm not really doing anything tonight. Like, why the fuck not? Whatever. So I went over and he was like, do you have any drugs on you? And I had some. I didn't have anything on me other than Xanax. And he was like, can you text your dealer? We texted my dealer. We got hold of some like oxy blues and some coke. So we were like smoking the oxy blues and doing some coke, and then watching Rick and Morty, like whatever the fuck. And
So Ricky, Morty, and Chill, I guess, is the new pickup line.
Rick and Morty and chilling and like doing
Or Oxy and Chill. Rick and Morty, Oxy, Coke, and Chill.
Oxy, coke, and chill. Exactly. What all the kids are doing these days. They should have on the Disney Channel PSAs. And so he's like, and then he's like, so could you blow me? I'm just like, I don't really want to. He was like, please don't. I was like, I don't know. Like, I was like dry mouth on oxy or whatever. And he's like, please, I don't know, like, whatever.
He said please?
Yeah.
Or if you say please, I guess.
Cause, you know, right? Exactly. Like,
I was being sarcastic. That just sounds like not sexy to like plead for a blowjob.
no, it sounds so like, no, but actually, like, it's so not sexy. So I'm just like, alright, whatever. And he's cute and all, like, and he's like, and I'm really expected.
Because you like your take charge type of like alpha testosterone, like.
Well, not like in, like, like in bed, yes, but not in like, whatever.
Well,
Actual conversation.
I was going to mention that, yeah, you're an indomitable spirit. Like, you don't like to be Like, so when that guy, like, thinks he's better than you.
If you try to tell me what to do outside of the bedroom, I'll, like, kick your fucking ass.
And it's really weird because that's what I love about, like, certain types of people. Like, you're insecure, but I tease you about it, but you're also not insecure. I think that depression or insecurity is just a form of ego. Because there's always, like, an ego component to depression or insecurity. Because there's, like, parts of you that you're not willing to analyze, and you keep those protected by a huge ego, by a stubbornness. That stubbornness is what stops you from actually fixing your own problems. But that's the same stubbornness that's so admirable, because you'll never allow someone to be, like, higher than you, because you know you're smart enough to, like, you've always been able to, like, challenge authority. So, but that's the problem, I guess. If you really are, like, a independent spirit, you won't accept anyone's authority, but then you have these huge fucking blind spots that you never get to because you don't let anyone, like,
You're always gonna, it's like cutting off your nose to spite your face.
That's why you gotta tap into your subconscious, or like what I'm trying to do, tap into your early programming from those first 6 years of life, and then just fix your code. And you can do that through psychedelics, or I think you do that through any drugs, including a loving relationship, which is a drug, you know.
But I'm trying, man.
I would have fixed you in 3 months, yo.
Fucking bullshit.
3 months and 50 orgasms, you would have been good as new. That would have been my prescription. You would have come out with like a fucking written project. And I mean, the problem is you might fall in love though, and then that's like a big deal, because like...
Absolutely not. There's no way. I'll only fall in love with one person, and I'm probably never gonna get over him.
You say that. That's just your story, because you haven't got a better story. I ship better stories.
I love that you said that. I love that you said that, because it's like partially true.
That's what I also like about you, because when it comes down to it, you're intellectually honest. If I make a point, you'll give it to me. And we play fair, and I appreciate that.
I will ask when you're right. Right. Like, I'm not gonna deny.
But you'll also show me my bullshit. You'll be like, you know what, Shaz, you're not as cool as you think you are. Because of A, B, and C, and I'm like, motherfucker. Blocked again.
That's why your sister hates fucking listening to us when we take it fast.
Well, because she's not that honest with herself, and so I irritate people when, like, we go down a rabbit hole. It's like not many people can, like...
When we go down the rabbit hole, she's like, get the fuck out.
Yeah, she's like, I want to analyze all of myself and everyone else. It's like, well, dude, like...
You know what, though? I miss her. I've been thinking about her, too, because she's a really good person, your sister.
Oh, she's super smart, yeah.
She's a really sweet person.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about her. She's doing well. The boyfriend's a good dude.
Yeah, I'm trying to get better at recognizing, you know, where I disagree with people, and then it's not on them, it's just something that's on me. So, like, they're very similar people, but then, like, in what ways am I similar?
Your way of saying you don't like him?
No, I like him for her, but, like...
Alright, nice high-pitched. No.
Yeah, right? I have to, I think the people that you care most about, you'll always be very critical of people that keep in their life. So if you're asking me if he's proven himself to me yet, no, but he's working on it, and so far everything he's done is what I would expect, you know, a good person to do. So I really appreciate all of his actions up to this point. But, like, it's just, you know, 6 months of hanging around isn't like win me over yet. It's like, all right, dude, let's see who you are after a year, 2 years. Like, that's just, I'm like long-term perspective. So, like, it's like with homeboy Johnny. Like, I don't feel bad about, like, giving him a little shit, because I know he'll be in my life for the rest of my life. So it's like, but, like, right now there's certain things in Johnny's life I don't really like, and I think that my best way to be a friend to him is to try to shake him out of that. Like, I paid his phone for a year. He couldn't give me any money. He couldn't. You mean for a year he never had $100, $200 extra that he could kick me down? It's like, that either means that his life was so chaotic that he really needs to slow down, which I'm kicking him in the ass, or he doesn't respect me. It's like, but something has to change. Like, he has too much of that.
You know what? You're right about that, actually, because $102 or $200, you're right. It's either one of those two things. Your life is too chaotic that you actually can't come up with $100 or $200 to give somebody who you owe that money to.
$120 for like a year. It's like, how much is my fucking compensation package? Like, 1 or 2 months, it's like, I'm sorry I had to fucking let you go so abruptly, but, like, for a year, how entitled do you actually feel? Fucking,
you're right.
I didn't enslave your people. Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
No.
Like, what type of guilt do you have over me, bro? Like, I don't understand where you're coming at me with this, but, like, it's just, and I've told him that to his face. I've given him this energy, and I know that this isn't 100% reality either, but when the feelings come up, it's like, I don't know. Once he said something like, you know how it's hard, man. I'm just trying to be a man and, man up to my responsibilities. And I was like, what do you know about being a man? I don't know. Whenever he comes up in my mind, I get this energy, and so I kind of let it go, and then I just let it wash over me.
That's what it is, though. Is like you're so like alpha male, and he's so like
Yeah.
not like that.
Well, I mean, he's working on it. He has a very strong spirit. Like, I recognize in you, too. It's just when you meet a strong spirit, I respect it because I respect how much chaos I could bring in my life. So, like...
No, he does, but
Yeah.
he's quieter about it.
Yeah.
And you're not.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, he's figuring out who he is. I would like him to be more... Yeah, so you're right. He is more quieter. You see the softness and the sensitivity in him because I think you're a girl. You see a really sensitive side to him that, like, I don't think that average person sees.
But I've hung out with him one-on-one before.
Yeah.
And, like, he's a really, like, contemplative dude.
Yeah.
And he really, like, thinks before he responds to something.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But you're absolutely right, because I've been in that position where I owe people money.
Yeah.
And when you can't come up with that amount of money, if it's under, like, a certain amount, it's either your life is too chaotic and you're spending that money on shit that you should not be spending that money on, or,
Yeah, me and you're supposed to be the smartest people in the room. We're supposed to be like, we could figure out any situation, like shake your hand, tell you your shoe size. So it's like, I call that situation a year ago, and I've just been watching him, and then like just recently I was like, all right, I'm gonna call this. Give him about a year time to fucking like show me something different, and all it is a little push, like, yo, like kick on the butt, like don't be that dude. I don't like the fucking impression you're giving me right now. But we'll see.
Yeah, I think he's still pissed off at you a little bit, man.
Yeah, and he deserves to be. That's another thing. I don't have anything to fucking talk to him about until I have like an opportunity better than the one that I...
You can never put your fucking tail between your legs and apologize.
Yeah.
And I don't know why you think
So instead I get angry at him.
worth your while ever, or that's not a skill or an attribute that is worth having.
Or apologizing?
Yeah, not apologizing, not even contrition, but just like, sometimes
Soften it, like...
No, right. Even if you know you're right, letting someone else think they are.
Yeah, that's not really my strength, I guess.
What was that?
I'm
just saying.
That's interesting though. That's
It goes
cool.
a long way. It goes a long way.
That's a cool perspective too.
And it can get you out of some deep shit.
I mean, but that's not really my path in life. Isn't my path in life is to seek out shit. It's like I'm a mushroom. I seek out shit and then grow from it. That's like my little philosophy. I wrote that down in Latin, but. Right?
I want you to try these shrooms with me though, because apparently they're like super fucking potent.
Oh shit. Did we ever shroom? Yeah, we shroomed out. What am I talking about? We shroomed out on fucking sassafras.
Yeah, we did shrooms. And me and you were fucking wilding, and everyone else passed the fuck out.
That was. Oh, dude, you're talking nonstop. You're like a fucking. That was cool.
That's because I don't stop tripping when everyone else passes out. I keep going. Kira gets so pissed at me for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Worried about her, man. She's really wild now. She's like trying to get me to fly out there, trying to get me to like buy property with her in fucking Nevada and shit.
Fly out where?
We found a spot. If you turn your phone back on, I'll text you the...
You want to fucking fly out and visit her? Where is she at? Seattle?
No, she's in Cali still, but she's like...
Where is she in Cali?
She's in San Fran right now, but she's like going through some shit.
Let's go visit her for a week. That'll be cool. We'll surprise her.
Well, I went to visit her. I'm broke as fuck right now. I'm like trying to get I'm like just getting back into steady work, so I was out of work for a while, like concussion and shit.
Concussion? What happened?
Things happen.
You fell or what?
She's not doing too hot.
Well, at the hostel, she could stay here anytime at the hostel.
How much are you charging a night?
$40.
$40?
Yeah, super cheap. And I got 4 beds.
That's super cheap.
Yeah. I wouldn't charge her, though.
I could totally sway her on that.
I wouldn't charge her. She could just crash, just help me, clean a little bit.
Do you still have any connects and stuff? Because I'm, like, looking for an apartment downtown.
Yeah, of course. I still have all my stuff. I can still find you something. Do you have a budget? Do you have, like, $2,000 you could spend?
$2,500 cap.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, of course I can. I'll find you something within a week. Just tell me when you have 2 days. We'll go out shopping. Oh, that'd be fun. You can, like, you see what I do for a living. I'll wear, like, nice clothes.
I've seen it. All your...
We'll get fucking high as shit. We'll be so stoned.
Your buddies are fucking assholes.
They are, yeah. Oh, you've been talking with them and shit, or what?
What?
Have you...
I was like, let's see, who was I with? I was with, they have advertisements all over the city.
Douglas Elliman. Dude, let me take care of you. I'm good at what I do. Let me take care of you. Like, I'll be, like, legit. Well, fucking... You're gonna give someone else business? Oh my gosh, that's the reason why you're contacting me. You need an apartment. This whole conversation is just, like, shattered. I'm just, like... I'm back to... I just spent since December trying to remember who I am as a human being, and you just reminded me I'm just a fucking utility slave to this fucking, like, economic wage slave system that we have.
Can you stop interrupting for a second, please? So, I got into NYU back in January, and I've been looking for an apartment.
NYU? Fuck yeah!
Yes. So,
Hey, dude.
if I was gonna contact you for that purpose, it would have been back then, not now.
Well, you've been trying to, and you just got the balls tonight because you're drinking.
No, that's not true. You think I'm
But you,
I know who you're talking to.
I gotta run, and take a piss because I'm got a landline and I'm stuck to the wall. But, I don't know. I think the next thing we should do is see each other in person, and we're going to do that when you come back from Sunday. And, like, between now and then, I'll shoot you an email with some positive intentions and shit, and what I've been doing, some links to videos I've been making and shit.
Listen, do you have an answering machine or something, or do you have a pen near you so I can give you my email and shoot me an email with your email or something?
I emailed you. You emailed me, remember the book from the guy, from the depressive?
Oh, right. So I didn't know.
Yeah. I'll send you an email in a couple minutes. I have some stuff I'm going to send you of, like, shit as soon as I get back from the bathroom.
Alright, cool.
Alright, later.
Hey, listen, have a good birthday, man, okay?
I love you, T. Bye.
I love you too,
Why are you, I don't know, that's interesting.
That's kiss.
Yeah. Oh, Susan, you got the mic. You got what you want. I could speak to you. It's like birthday. Just make the best photos.
You gotta touch the hipster
Yeah? Well,
You always do your photo shoots. I remember when you found the couch on the street.
oh yeah?
You used to see like the pictures of you at the couch on the street.
That was dope. That was,
That was when you got those really strong tabs and you were like, be careful with these.
yeah, I still have a couple of those.
You still have some of
I
those?
think so.
Let me buy some of those.
Yeah, maybe. Or like, no, we'll just film or something.
Why would you refuse to let me do something that I like to buy myself?
No, I'm just like, because, you know, you
Do
gotta
you think
like...
I'm irresponsible?
Yeah.
Do you think I'm the worst? Yes. You can say yes. I won't take it personally.
He just finished describing to me the detail of your morning gruel.
Of my morning girl
black
suffering.
coffee and
I'm
oatmeal.
trying things. I have like some Russian heritage I'm trying to reconnect with.
Do you?
Which is like some history
You know,
of
your
suffering
life
there.
makes a lot of sense through that perspective. That you're a suffering
And then I'm a suffering Russian
Russian
Jew.
old woman.
Yeah, exactly.
In Siberia somewhere.
Exactly. And like we have some customers who are, I think one of them is actually a famous writer, but I don't know her last name, so I can't look her up.
You're the trickster Russian Jew witch.
Yeah. So watch your back.
That's the mythic With the
ghoul. The ghoul, right?
with the gingerbread house and the.
Exactly.
What am I? I'm like the wolf in the forest, and you're the witch in the gingerbread house. It's interesting. That's weird to think about yourself in a bad term, like, and like, am I like a bad spirit or a bad force on this earth?
I don't think so. I think that's like one of the reasons I stick around is because I think in general I bring more good to the world than like net, like, you know, think Bentham, bringing more net happiness than net like sadness.
Bentham reference, that's good.
Dude, I went to prep school. Like,
yeah?
You think I don't know my basic philosophical ideas?
So then,
Basic Kantian ethics. Like, Kira and I were debating the ethics of sending my drug dealer nudes in exchange for a discount. Because we were like, what would Bentham say? What would Kant say? We were like, well, I think Bentham would be for it because no one's really getting hurt. And like,
you're increasing that happiness.
it is increasing net happiness. Kant, on the other hand, is probably not pro. Though, like, it's not that immoral, depending on, like... I should send you the fuck...
Well,
fuck
what did
word.
Kant have to say about sex?
I don't know, I never really read Kant on sex.
There's too many people and too many ideas.
There are too
That's
many.
why I like my survey
Yeah, but there are
books.
also, most people have, like, similar ideas, or...
Well, the books I have at the apartment are like comic books, and so you can read them in about 2 hours. So it's like comic book overview of philosophy. That's
That's
enough
cool.
for like overview. And then like if you want to read more about certain. So you're like acting like an ascetic, or like the people who like are denying it. You're like have you heard of Diogenes?
Yeah.
You're like no, that's not you actually. That's nothing to do. Here's a dude who lived in public in a barrel.
Yeah. No, it was,
That's
Seneca was suffering.
Oh, okay, there
Was
you
all
go.
suffering. Sisyphus just pushing that rock.
What's it? What?
Sisyphus just pushing that
Alright.
pushing
No.
that boulder.
I have a book I was reading right now about Rome and like how Julius Caesar was assassinated, like I think 63 BC or some shit. And the Spartan wars were like just fucking like 40 years before that or some shit like that, or 30 years. So not Spartan, Spartacus. So you had like the slave revolt that almost overthrew all of society, and then you had Julius Caesar assassinated, and then you had like supposedly the birth of Christ. That was like a crazy time, like in Roman history. And like we feel like we're living through like a similar crazy time, like just a lot of important shit happening close together. You know?
Yeah.
Like the atom bomb, we're within like 50, 70 years of that.
That's
Like
true.
that's like world
Yeah,
ending.
That is true.
And then we got like a bunch of other like this. I'm trying to like catch up to like the arc of history. Like that's how you kind of plan out your.
You try to predict it. Or are you not even trying to predict it?
I think my basic energy is just to chill. So I'm just trying
Just to chill.
know what's going to interrupt my chill, so I can like plan for it. You know.
So not trying to predict history then?
Well, to the point, like I think gently influence it maybe. Like yeah, if you notice that there's a pattern, you try to influence the good and decrease the bad. But I think the ability to be on the beach for a couple weeks will be a good skill to
I
have
think
in the
it's a
future.
skill to be able to be on the
Yeah.
beach for a couple weeks.
If you can be happy with, this is kind of what your philosophy is a little bit. If you can be happy with minimum, and then everything else is a bonus. So if you get your happiness requirements down to the basics and really just understand and appreciate those, you really get the right perspective on like everything's a gift. Past your basic necessities, and then you can go and indulge. But like suffering comes from expectations. So as long as you set your expectations the right way, which comes from moments of like slowing down and really understanding what's important, realigning your values, then you shouldn't really suffer after that because you'll put everything in the right perspective. I think that's so. Yeah, you're on that same thing. I think that's like a unified theory of both our philosophies.
That I'm gonna start putting milk in my coffee.
So what?
That I'm gonna start putting milk in my coffee.
Oh, it depends on if you experience enlightenment. If not, you have to keep suffering, right? You have to, right? Because it's not even putting milk in your coffee. You'll stop punishing yourself with all of your purposeful mistakes you make in your life. See, there you go. And then that just wrapped it all together.
No, it's because, you know, the other reason I don't put milk in my coffee is because I only want to spend a certain amount of money on milk. And I put milk in I make my oatmeal with water. But one of my indulgences is that I will put milk on top of my oatmeal.
That is an indulgence.
Because then...
Because you don't got to do that.
Because you don't have to do that. The oatmeal is cooked.
Still
but it makes the oatmeal cold enough to eat faster.
That's
so
true.
It saves you time.
That's true.
And time is obviously the most
and
precious.
If we could spend
of all
milk
things.
to save time, dude.
If
we wouldn't have any
milk to save time, that's the key. Is that no one else has figured out. Is that you can use milk to save time.
That'd be a good band
key
name.
To the
Spending milk.
Spend milk, save time.
So, yeah. If we can spend the whole thing. If we can spend milk to save time, you gotta that's the whole band name.
So that's what I'm doing. But like, if I was also using milk in my coffee, then I have to buy more milk, and I spend my money very frugally. So I'm not trying to buy that much milk.
You're just the type of person who feels that they can defend any argument, so you just pick one at random.
I can.
Yeah, exactly. So you just pick one at you just defend it. Yeah. Right? You just It's funny. No, that's good. Your powers are being wasted on bullshit life.
Well, why not? Everything's bullshit, so why not just defend bullshitters for shits?
No one said everything's bullshit. Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it's bullshit.
Okay, some things are less bullshit than other things, but like everything is ultimately bullshit.
No, it's just when you finally start coming of age, you start to realize how hard it is to actually explain the world. But you still eventually an explanation comes out. But it's not easy, and what's not easy isn't bullshit. It's just not easy. Yeah, no, you'll see 5 years, 10 years, people start separating. People who I have friends who are still in my hometown, and they just didn't overcome certain obstacles to their trying to free themselves to think for themselves or whatever. But my homie, he's a really smart dude and he's cool, but he's still living in the house behind his parents' house and shit. And it's just a little thing like that. I'm not saying that's you, but people get stuck in certain. And then he's working at the pizza place in our town. And it's whoa, you're that dude. You're that 35-year-old dude who graduated from the high school and is working at the local pizza place, hitting on the high school girls. No.
I mean, I'd kill myself before I was there.
That's what you say, but there'll be patterns that you'll fall into that you'll look back and you'll be like, wow, I told myself I would never. I did real estate for 5 years. And I was like, that was pretty. I didn't go to Occupy Wall Street to do that. That was the after. I was like, dude, I need something different, completely different to wash this out of my head. I think 5 years isn't enough. But shit, so what's your thing? So after you do all this partying, you're going to need something to wash it out of your head, because if you're really seeking the truth, they'll be like, all right, I've been this person for a while. You're going to go super straight laced. You're just going to fucking be you're going to be that dude who's 25 in college but taking it seriously, because this is their last chance. And they're not going to fuck it up.
I can't be that person.
Dude, I can't have any caffeine today. I'm not going to fuck it up, dude. Every time I eat meat, I just I start becoming that person again. I fuck up. Dude, gluten.
No, stop. I'll never be that guy. I don't have it in me to be that guy. Who's just because I was in a class with a dude like that. I dropped that class. I was I can't be around you people. Who are you've strayed too far and now you're trying to get back into it.
I think we're looking for our own tribe. I think there's other people who are more independent, and we're that's why my hostel is all attracting the same types of people.
Yeah.
So we all kick it together.
I mean, I would rather just do a 2-year thing and get some kind of associates in something, and then just get my leg in the door
what song
somewhere.
This is?
No. What song is this?
Sweet, thank you.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Damn.
This is a song called Wuthering Heights, and it's about Wuthering Heights.
I hated that book.
But they wrote a song about it. It's this 80s, I never heard about it before.
I hate 80s music too. It's just so fucking weird.
She's singing Heathcliff and shit like that. Yeah.
That movie was actually kind of decent.
I didn't see the movie. Is it good?
Laurence Olivier.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, you should watch it. Wow.
Doesn't this look epic though?
Well,
Only brunch on the weekend. Oh, this is gonna be super hot though.
How many 24-hour places do you have around here?
Oh, so many. Dude, this is where you should live out of the whole world.
That's like so key to my like.
Out of the whole world, dude.
apartment
This is,
searching.
I tell people best neighborhood in the city, easily, but like maybe best in the world.
I like high rises though. I like feeling like I'm
There's
like in the
high-rises around
city. Where are there high rises?
Your parents would love this place. There's like a 2,500 studio in the Doorman building over here that goes around the corner. It's a really cool building. And, like studios aren't that small, but like it has a doorman and an elevator and fucking. We'll walk by it. 95 Christopher. It's on Christopher Lake, and it's right down from the train, from the one train.
Or work.
But it's like that's where I would live. Like they have like these 65, 75 one beds with like your own terrace. That's like the top.
Oh,
of
that's
it.
pretty sweet. I just like, it's nice because my parents are out of town so much that I have this like fucking incredible apartments myself.
I'm gonna go hang out tomorrow. Tomorrow.
But like, it's like an incredible apartment that I have to myself. It's like a 21-year-old, this multi-million-dollar apartment in
That's
New York
true.
City on like the 35th floor overlooking the park. And I'm like, I don't want to move out. Because they're
You know what,
gone
dude?
like at least every weekend.
You gotta
I'm like,
stand on your own feet. You gotta get out and like do your own shit.
this is so good.
Right. Dude, you're legit eating that like a normal person. I just wait until it cools down and then just like monster it.
I'm just trying to pick it up. You're a barbarian, man. I have table manners.
But it feels like this is like a old mead hall or something, right? With, like, a lid and shit. I gotta expect a hobbit to walk up.
And like how you were saying that you go in that room when you have something to meditate on, that view from that apartment is like my thing to meditate on.
Right.
I was saying to that guy from work that like I can sit there sober for like 24 hours straight and not move from looking at that view and just watching the light change. And he was like,
You're on the 35th floor?
yeah. And he was like, no way. And I was like, yeah. It's like that incredible. And just think about shit all day. Like I don't want to leave.
On Martha's Vineyard, there's a sunset lookout over off the Clay Cliffs that like's really cool. Like when I was over there was like over 20 people just waiting for the sun to go down. Appreciating nature, I think, is like means you're on the path towards like happiness or wisdom or peace or whatever.
Appreciating your view. I think everywhere you find a view that like resonates with you, you need to trip there, and then you like log it,
Right.
and then you have like an attachment to that view and like your ideas at that time, like who you were at that time. It's like I don't know, it's like cataloged. Because the way you remember things, it's like easier because it's attached to visual.
There's some more coffee.
This gravy's so good.
Yeah, I know. That's what I just told them. Like, I know it's high calorie, but I love the gravy.
Wait, so where is that guy staying, Frankie? Now that he's out of your place.
On one of the bunk beds.
Oh, he's still staying at your place?
Oh no, Frankie. Oh, Frankie got his own apartment. Yeah. He came. Frankie's a go-getter. Like he's a smart guy. Like that's why I like actually still hang out with him. He's like there's some, I don't know, there's something there. But he came here and stayed for a couple weeks. We smoked and he's like, well, he just doesn't like allow himself to be bullied. Like he's like a strong will and I respect that. Like
Yeah.
when I'm like ask people, do you smoke? And they're like, yeah, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna smoke. And usually I'll go until like they stop. They're like, oh, I'm good. But like you see, and so like people who don't say stop, it's like, okay, you're that person. Look, just like go along for the ride. Yeah. So I was like, all right.
And then I learned that people kind of respect you more when you're like, know your limits. And they're like, nah, I'm good.
Well, no, just if you're gonna go there, like that's you. Like you gotta like stay on top of it. But I also didn't. I wasn't his broker because like I knew what type of person he was. I was like, he doesn't want to pay for this shit like that.
Yeah.
So he went and he got an apartment, but like it was a little shady, and they like got to run around by the city. But they figured it out.
Where is it? Like
in Hell's Kitchen.
Of course.
Yeah, because
That's what I'm saying. It's like a
he
little
can't be
shady over there. I'm into it. I hated the East Village. I was like looking at a couple places in the East Village. Like St. Mark's is. She's like, it's just too much.
Well, you'd be like further away.
Like way east.
Right. We could walk to the East Village in like 20 minutes, but there's more neighborhoods and stuff you'd be doing out here than over there. I think. Because we got like Soho.
No, I'd rather be on the west side just because like I would like to be close to a red line to get back to my apartment.
Now, you might not even be able to get that place every morning, so. It's all good. We won't be negative. No reason to talk about that. We were talking about your overarching philosophy of life. And how you're living it through your oatmeal and gruel every morning. And your denial of love and romance.
I'm not denying love.
Possible relationships and shit. Dude, this gravy's so good. I almost want like a biscuit to...
I just want more biscuits.
Yeah. What am I gonna do? I'm probably gonna... We're gonna go up to the train. I'll probably take a walk. Smoke another train.
Will you walk me to the train?
Yeah, for sure. I got you. I know it's a little complicated. You have to walk up a straight street.
I get so much shit from like my boss and like my friends from work and stuff. They're like, how are you so bad at like walking around places?
Yeah, right. Do you not apply the mental effort or something?
I'm like, I don't have a sense of direction. I don't really care to develop one.
You don't think you need one, I guess?
I'm like not that afraid to ask people where, like, how to get somewhere.
Stubbornness. You're one of those people who'd rather be stubborn than successful.
Yeah, that's the other man. Then you're just like. I might just do this all myself and like cut out all the doctors. I don't think any of them really know what they're doing.
What's the what?
I might just cut out all the doctors. I don't think any of them really know what they're doing.
cut out all the doctors.
And just do it myself.
What do you want?
I want to be off Xanax so I can take psychedelics.
You want to get off of Xanax. And all the doctors are giving you all the pills to get off of Xanax. What are all the pills they're giving you?
Some of them are basically Xanax.
How many pills is it up to now?
It's like... Five.
5 pills. Well, so like a Klonopin and
Ativan is a niacinamide, which is an anti-epileptic, which I don't really need if I was on like Valium instead of Ativan.
Valium?
Yeah. And then a muscle relaxer, which I like. I would keep that one.
So that has nothing to do with the mental stuff. That's just like.
It's just nice.
Maybe you should just instead get a gym membership and start building some muscles.
Pass. Hard pass.
The less you work on yourself, the more your body's gonna ache. You gotta like put time into your body to keep it running well in yoga.
I hate that shit.
So yours is just, so why should anyone feel any pity for you? You just don't want to take care of your body.
I don't.
Or your mind.
I want to take care of my mind.
You can, it's the same thing, they're connected. You can't ignore one. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to act like your mind does not respect your body. You don't have a mind-body connection.
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like...
So you're just going to be in this feedback loop. Your ego is so strong, it's not recognizing the wisdom of your body. And your body's like, all right, I'll just keep punishing you. And you're like, no, fuck you, body. And that's exactly what's going on in your mind, too. Your fucking stubbornness is trying to fight your biochemistry. That's crazy.
Who's going to win?
Neither.
Someone has to win.
A house divided itself against itself cannot stand and all that shit. What? You got crepes?
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Cherry and creme fraiche one, that's my fave. Hi, how are you? Nutella and banana and lemon and honey. Want some coffee?
No, I'm good, thank you. Well, we'll take a minute to think. Get this in.
What are you thinking?
I can crepe it up. You can
I
do
go for
it.
crepe. What flavor? No cherry, you pick.
Either the second or the third that she said.
Yeah, second or third.
I don't remember him, so I was like, yeah, that should be like. I think I felt interest around the second or third time she was talking.
One was lemon honey and one was.
That was one of the last. I remember that one.
That was the last, and then the second one was Nutella banana.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the third?
Lemon honey.
No, lemon honey was like the fourth.
No, she only gave us 3. Yeah. The first was cherry and something, and then there was banana and Nutella, and then there was lemon honey, or flip those 2.
I didn't bother to remember because I was like, I don't even know if we're getting crepes. And then my mind was like, I'm not going to remember any of this shit.
Well, I just told you all of them, so do you have a
That's how you deal with maps. You're like, I'm not going to remember how to do it.
I literally do. Someone gives me directions, and I zone the fuck out, because I'm like, I'm going to get lost.
You're so stubborn. You're just like,
I'm going to get lost
That's
anyway.
good.
I'm
That
not
means
listening at all.
your mind is very controlling about what it puts in, which means that you probably avoided most of the bullshit of like the systemic propaganda of this world.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But that also means you have to develop your own unified theory of reality, or else you'll go crazy.
Yeah.
Because you're like outside the spaceship without, like, you have to build your own spaceship.
Well,
you
and
can't
it
just
sucks
exist
because then, like...
with no belief system.
Yeah, and it's hard to do that. And
So that's what I'm trying to create. I'm trying to create an alternative belief system.
I liked your thesis. It reminded me of, like, I don't know if I ever told you, in high school I did, like, an independent study on anti-Americanism. And I wrote, like, a 40-page paper on it. And it was, like, all about how it was, like, the total myth that the government, like, gave to the citizens, and the citizens believed because we have a trash education system in America, and, like, we have a trash education system in America because we don't want to have a better education system, because we're not told that we, like, deserve a better education system, because the government is just, like, this feedback loop that just feeds into itself and stuff. And, I don't know, it's, like, made me think of that when I read your little political joint, little paragraph there. But,
That is, I think that's like one of the basic ideas is to try to find these little feedback loops, these negative ones.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is a lot like the drug trip. Like our society at a macro level is suffering from a bad trip at a micro level. Like you take an individual, put them in a bad, strong mushroom trip where their ego is bouncing, and I recorded myself doing it. You bounce against yourself. And that's what we're creating with Russia
What do you
right
think
now.
would happen if you gave like acid to someone like the Donald?
Well, we're not even talking on that individual level. I'm saying the society as a whole, so that way we don't have to worry about the individuals. Like if you recognize a bigger pattern, you can try to like influence it at that type of. I'm talking about when people sway back and forth together, not telling people to move, but if you start swaying and everyone else starts swaying, you start create movement, but without language in other ways. Like if you get like the right party, the right culture, the right movie, you can start creating a type of thinking or a type of word, or so.
Subtext, the right person.
Yeah, what they called the Beat Generation was someone who said, like, there's Jack Kerouac wrote a poem about the beat, and this whole generation's moving to the beat. And then everyone else is like, that's a cool term, all right, we'll call ourselves that. You don't call yourself a hipster or a millennial and shit. That's shit that marketers try to put on you. But once the group claims an identity for itself, it claims power. The first power is in identity, and that's why all of the political discussion tries to fit you into a pre-made identity, like feminists or like Black Lives Matter, and they want it small because small, manageable identities that then you can like broker and trade back and forth. And like the gun lobby right now is really fighting. We're fucking to create a generational identity. That's what would break the links. That's the idea. I think that's what I'm at right now. And then you just need a name or a word or.
Because but you still have to brand it is the thing.
Well, yeah, but whatever.
But then,
Come
like,
up with the logo. What's the logo?
Yeah, but that's the thing. You have to come up with
Name
the
the
logo. You have
zeitgeist.
to market it.
Zeitgeist itself
But it's
is
like,
the
doesn't that
concept.
bother you? Like,
No, you don't have to market it. If it's right.
It's never grassroots. There's no such
Yeah,
thing
it
as like
is.
a grassroots
Yeah, it is.
movement. No, it's not.
If it's right, you don't market it. If it's right, people do it themselves. That's how you know it's grassroots. It comes voluntarily. But it does have to be invented, like hippie. The first person had to say hippie. But
Yeah.
once it kind of fits, everyone just says, oh yeah, hippie this, hippie that. It's like they try to millennial never really stuck. You could tell the ones that are fucking artificial, because if you didn't have PA people using it, we wouldn't use it. It's a silly fucking word.
Millennials.
I just don't like how it sounds in your mouth, right?
Millennials. See, I don't mind millennial because I think like.
Do you identify as millennial?
What's up?
Do you identify as a millennial?
Do I identify as millennial? In some ways, yeah, because I'm like, I see like some shit that my friends do, and I'm like, y'all are being like such millennials right now, and it's really fucking irritating. And I really wish you would do less. Like I'm like we're like we'll be out, and I'm like, please, like, can we not like all stop what we're doing to take a photo for Instagram? Like, do we need to do that?
Well, I'm gonna name the next generation. I'm gonna name the ones who are fucking like turning.
They're fucked.
What, the ones who are like 16 right now?
Yeah, I'm like, I think about it.
The ones who
I'm
were
like,
born after 9/11, 2002
yeah,
onward.
they have a name already.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do they call it? After 9s?
The post 9/11, aren't they Gen Z?
I think they're Shazz's homies.
Shazz's homies.
That's what
You're
it's
gonna
be.
you're gonna
I'm
fuck
flame
up
them.
Gen Z.
Gen Z.
I think it's like 60 degrees out there. Let's see, generation
I like the after 9ers.
after Niners.
It's pretty
Yeah, because for millennials it's like 9/11. It's like
Truthers, you should just
standard.
say-
Generation Z. Yeah.
Oh, fuck that. No, that's just marketing person. That's someone in fucking like a Madison apartment or office, like saying, trying to grab that market. That's what like.
I totally want to go into advertising. I'm like, it's so easy to manipulate the public. Like,
Well, it would be a good use of your
shit ton
talents
of
to
money.
compete in society at that level, but you have to earn your place at that table by doing some.
I know,
boring
by
shit.
maybe getting a college degree.
No, I didn't get one, and I think I'm at that table. I have a business. I'm a business fucking owner and society.
Yeah, but real estate's different because you don't need to get a college degree. to get
That's what I mean. A lot of stuff's different. So
Yeah.
is art. So is
So is
whatever.
art. Yeah.
So is production. I want to do a media production company. That's I think where I've settled at. Is that like I'm going to use a YouTube channel to attract talent and also promote talent, and I'm going to become the producer, like the media company. So like
That's a cool idea.
because I want to do my own blog and also the writing. But what's my actual skill? I think it's in actually managing like the whole
Talent
thing.
manager.
Yeah, you create, and also that's where you affect the greatest good. It's not just a channel; you're the media company. Now you can have channels, you can have imprints, you can have, and you're at the very highest level. And then that's the table of like Vice magazine's worth over $1 billion now. That was just two dudes who did the same thing. Let's start a brand.
Yeah.
And then it turned
Vice is
into
such trash, though.
It is.
Vice is-
The pies. You said you had like a banana nut or crepes. Yeah.
Yeah, we have banana and Nutella.
Oh, Nutella. And then what were the other two?
Creme fraiche and cherry, and lemon and honey.
You're right. There were 3. I thought there was 4.
I told you.
You want to do the banana Nutella?
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know why you were arguing with me so
I
much.
don't know either. There's like a phantom crab.
Phantom Crab.
It
There's a band name, the Phantom Crab.
must have crept in there or something.
Oh my god, take a lap.
That was
Get
perfect,
out of
though.
here with that
was good.
trash wordplay. That's like, I'm obviously on like the bad puns Reddit feed.
Do they have one of those?
Oh my god, it's great.
That's all I read.
That's like one of my favorites. There's like Reddit puns, which is obviously bad
That's
puns
the
because like
front
all
page.
puns are bad puns. And there's like Reddit bad puns, which is like the worst of Reddit puns.
You think that website's trash, or you think it's gonna persevere?
Reddit?
Yeah.
Well, they just made a new rule, which means that like all of the like shady shit that was going on Reddit is like not allowed to be on Reddit anymore. They're like really shutting it down. So all the subs that I followed for like using the dark web, like figuring out the dark web and all that stuff, and like drug sourcing, shit like that, have been shut down, and they're all like popping up on other servers. There's this site called Discord that's about to blow up. I would recommend downloading that, and that's like it's like a chat room website app. But that can link from internet communities. So like if you have an internet community on some web page, say Reddit, say Tumblr, whatever, everyone who belongs to that community can also use that community's Discord server to chat with one another. And the Discord server like doesn't have any rules. So like that's totally like unmonitored.
But that scares some people on Reddit who are like, we should ban this group and that
Exactly,
group.
yeah, like alt-right and like anything that's sourcing, anything that's like cookers, anything like that. So like, I'm a little worried about it right now.
I think there's a fundamental flaw with Reddit in that social networks, when they scale up to certain numbers, become closer to natural laws in certain respects as far as human behavior. Human behavior, once you get enough data, the patterns seem to emerge, and so human behavior in large enough scale starts to approach some basic averages or patterns, or like starts to exhibit some basic tendencies. And so, if something doesn't have the right values from the very beginning, and you're at odds with human nature, then at those large scales, even if it's a very small difference, it's going to show up. So Reddit's core values aren't in line with human nature, so now it's growing to the point of collapsing under the contradictions. And that's proven because human nature is cooperative, and most of Reddit is... Well,
so not.
But I'm just talking about the labor inputs, what Reddit is. Reddit is a messaging board. Where does the content come from? The creators, but who profits from it? Reddit. So it doesn't have the cooperative values of human nature that the people who are actually creating what Reddit is aren't getting compensated. And the problem is we're not really sure if we have a system where people could get equitable compensation for the contribution to a site like Reddit and for it to maintain profitability. The idea was with the karma, you're buying people gold, and that's running the service, but that's not enough for the founders of Reddit. They want
they need
profitability, and so all the little shades of gray or the black parts of Reddit are how they're profiting, but that's at odds with the values of its community, and that's going to be the internal contradiction that
People
creates it.
are buying like Reddit mods accounts. Like you can.
Oh, yeah?
Like, you
Oh,
can
shit. See, I didn't know
sell,
that. But
like,
that's a
Reddit
problem.
mod account for like $350.
It's like you go to...
Someone can become a Reddit moderator for like cash, $350.
There's always going to be a black market when you have markets that aren't running by true market forces, which they can do in Reddit because you have a central authority. If you look at the government of Reddit, it's not a democracy, it's not participatory, it's not a co-op. So all of these are less and less human. So what is, it's like authoritarian. It's like fucking Philosopher King, like what's his name, Spez thinks he's like, and that's because they're institutional guys who came through a good university, and at heart the Western culture and Western education system teaches you to respect wise authority because we want to, it's like a very conforming system. But So if you look at the Reddit that way and the column that way, you can start to imagine a counter system with different values. I'm just not sure what the structure would be, but if it aligned with those values, it would grow organically. And that's, like, there's a void for that. That's, people are only on Reddit because there's not something better, just like Facebook. Like, that's the sad truth. Like, no one really likes it.
Well, but then think about 4chan, which is essentially...
4chan's like Craigslist. It didn't evolve, but it didn't devolve. It didn't sell out. And so people, like, it's a landing pad. We're trying to jump across these stones in technology. People stay on the 4chan stone because it's solid. Like Craigslist, that dude's not selling out his website. And so, like, you know, it might not be further down the path, but you know it's not a fake stone. You're not going to, like...
That's true, yeah.
Craigslist, I've done everything on Craigslist, including hook up with people, buy stuff, sell stuff. It's the same thing
Yeah, but
that,
you've
like,
also
since
been
I
on
was...
Craigslist for like a while. Like, these days, like...
No, it's a Wild West now.
Yeah, like...
But I'm saying
Like,
it's...
when Craigslist first became a thing, it was, like, less sketchy to do everything.
You know what
on
I think?
Craigslist.
Craigslist had the right values, but it didn't have the right execution. And so what companies do is carve off parts of Craigslist. You get the dating app, the Tinder,
Yeah.
and then you get like the jobs, real estate. There's like 20 real estate companies. But that shows how valuable Craigslist is. It had such good values that it had within it like 10 companies, 20 companies. It's still, you could still mine Craigslist probably for startup ideas because they're not improving, they're not iterating.
My company, my restaurant company, they met on Craigslist.
See?
The CEO and the COO
But that shows you
met on
that,
Craigslist.
so there's value in companies like Craigslist and these other ones like 4chan. Whatever their values are, whatever makes them eternally popular, at least long-standing, is something to be learned from.
You guys ordered Nutella banana, right?
Sweet, perfect. Hey, right.
That was really
That's amazing.
Unfortunately, like, it has all that like fucked up like Pepe content and shit. Like,
But I try to look at it as a whole system, and then you look at the symptoms within the system. So like if you have like 4chan and other shit, it's like you got to address the whole anti-democratic system of Reddit and how everything's regulated to understand how it has certain like viruses like that.
yeah, but you also have to like if you go on Reddit and you're using Reddit for like the right. Like if you know what you're using Reddit for, you're gonna get out of Reddit like what you need to get out of it.
Exactly.
You know, like if you're using Reddit for the wrong reasons, you're not gonna get like good shit out of Reddit. I've met like I almost got like free concert tickets through Reddit, and like I've gotten drugs through Reddit, like I've gotten like awesome shit through Reddit.
It's a great tool for like information and commerce and connection. And that's what you use the net for, right? Information, commerce, connection.
And like, it is funny, like, you see some comments and like, they're real funny sometimes, and, like, some of the shit on there is just so absurd, you're like, who wrote this? Like,
Well, you're a walking to me, for me in real life.
well, on that sub way too much.
There's every now and then, do you get excited when a sub exists? When someone links to a sub and you're like, oh shit, that's the thing? Like bread staple to cheese.
Yeah.
The first
Well,
time
because I follow a sub that's like, this sub exists.
The bread staple to trees is a legit sub with like legit people who are dedicated to stapling bread to trees.
One of my favorites is like funeral home porn. Like what?
It's porn set in funeral homes?
No. It's like pictures of like gorgeous funeral homes.
Oh. I could kind of understand that, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's actually kind of cool. Like I kind of like that I follow it. Every once in a while I'll be on my feed and I'll just be like, damn, that's a really beautiful funeral home. I'm glad I got to see that today. Like, thank you, Reddit.
How Trees is a weed blog and then Marijuana Enthusiast is a tree blog.
There's so many weed sites. Like a ridiculous amount.
No, but since they got trees, then the people who are actually arborists, like the ones who are into trees, they chose Marijuana Enthusiasts as their, because trees was taken, so it's like that.
You guys like
See, like shit like that is
This
funny.
is amazing. This is really good. Thank you.
Let me see what I got.
I'm thinking about getting like a cup of milk.
Just to spite me.
Oh shit! You can't drink milk.
That's just like too indulgent. What kind of person loves himself enough to just drink pure milk? It's gonna be in real life.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Let's see. Anarchy 101.
You're probably addicted to that shit because that shit is. That's what I'm trying to get away from. I want to get away for like 3 weeks to get away from technology stimulation. Like I think it's
I cut
addictive.
myself off Reddit for a little bit.
You're like if you got the like.
Antinatals, and it's like pretty interesting. I like that one. Ask a Shitty Philosopher is pretty fun.
This is
Some of the NYC stuff is really fun.
Really?
Yeah. Like Ask NYC, like NYC, like Reddit NYC and Reddit Manhattan have a war.
I think
those subs hate each other.
Really?
It's really funny, yeah. Reddit Bad Puns, Reddit Bird Strips, blog.
Oh, you check out the Donald? That's bad.
I'm not on McDonald's. I'm on Calvin and Hobbes. It's fucking great.
We have a lot of that's not
Cosmo
very.
and Wanda is great.
Let me pull out.
No, we're not looking through all my stuff.
Oh, those are cool.
Give
Dude, Disney
it back.
Vacation.
Give
That's
it
the
back.
most shameful one so far.
Which one?
Disney Vacation.
Disney Vacation's mad funny. Have you not seen Disney Vacation?
Yeah.
It's all the like the WikiHow images. Seriously, no one sees my Reddit subs.
Fake AMAs.
Fake AMAs is also good.
People-
Internet is Beautiful is good. Imaginary Turtle World is great.
Kanye.
Oh, of course I follow Kanye. I'm not even ashamed of that one. I got Kendrick too. Logophilia, Manhattan, MDMA roll call. This one you just post your area code and see if anyone can hook you up with math.
That's
Which I've
hilarious.
done like so many times too.
MDMA roll
Not
call.
today.
Military bronies is like dudes in the military who are super into My Little Pony. Like what? And they just post like what's going on here? Just like why does that exist? Like New York City, not the Onion is great. NYC, old school plagiarism. Rationalize My View is great.
Rationalize my view. How's that going?
Rationalize My View. Solipsism is funny because it's just like this one dude who posts like he's like a solipsist and he just writes in here.
It's all himself. So it's just
all
one
himself.
guy.
It's just one dude writing, but like mad people follow the sub and he just like talks to himself through it.
There's 15,000 subscribers.
Yeah, but it's so funny. And he literally just talks to himself through the sub.
He's consistent.
Well, a couple weeks back he posted something about like wanting to kill a
Wait,
dog.
but so all these different profiles are him? Mm-hmm. Hey, how's it going? Me? It's me, you. I just figured I'd let the rest of me know that if solipsism is real, it's actually me. I know that might sound absurd, and all the other projections of myself would just say the same thing, but Oh, does it keep going?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just, that's how he ended it. that was awesome. But I am actually conscious right now, so it's me. I am the solipsist. If solipsism isn't real though, then I suppose I sound like a total asshat. Eh?
And then like the comments, yeah.
Wait, but if I am the real solipsist, then you would be me claiming to be the real solipsist when I actually wrote this
And
message
every
to
post is
myself.
like,
Smart coffee.
Making.
what's my coffee?
Nah, we'll probably wrap it up, I
Yeah.
guess. Thank you. You want more coffee? Or?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, actually head back. Sorry for
Yeah.
slow roll to the day. That's interesting. I hope that guy is happy
He's
with his
not.
life
He
choices.
commented about like how he was like thinking about killing himself.
I
for a
am
couple
choosing
weeks.
to eat the rest of this
Go
crate.
for it. And I was like, damn dude, don't do it. Too soon is great. That's how I get all my news. Unethical life hacks. And unethical
Boy,
life
dude
hacks.
is a pretty good one.
Boy Dude is decent.
Writing prompts are cool.
Right.
You only follow him in person?
Yeah, I don't even know why I'm following this dude. I don't know what he posts that I'm into. It's like just like.
I gotta get better on my Reddit communication. That's where the people are at. If you want to like get
There's some
involved in shit.
cool people on Reddit, yeah. Thank you.
I try and they're all fucking like mean. It's like going to the
Like,
schoolyard.
like
But
when everyone I've ever messaged on Reddit has been like.
have you ever like read a shitting morph like a
You never
fucking?
messaged anyone?
I mean, have you ever read like that dude who fucking every now and then he'll write like a regular comment that's actually interesting in reading it, but it's kind of longish.
Oh, and then they he'll throw something in there that's just
Like
random
just like
shit about life.
how was it when mankind got thrown from a cage in Helena in the cell in 1998 and broke through an announcer's table or some shit. But like it's the same copy pasta.
Yeah,
That the
I've
tag
seen
on there.
those, yeah. And then the username will be connected to whatever the comment is, and people will like, still get all the way through. I
Yeah,
actually keep
exactly.
reading them too. I'm just like, I'm gonna see how this plays out.
So I try to do one of those where I try to like do a normal comment and then like end with that copy pasta. And the dude was like,
You better,
first
did
of
you see my username? You better not have seen my username.
all- yeah,
You saw my username?
I took a picture of it. Fuck, yeah, I forgot. That was my.
That was what you should, that was the mistake.
I don't care too much. I can figure out who you are. Probably. I saw
only
enough of
have,
your subs.
I only have like 6 comments.
So what?
I only have like 6 comments.
Now you tell me how to find you, so I'll find the username with 6 comments.
How fast do you think you can do it in this bet?
A week if I enlisted people's help on Reddit. And then fucking, I know
What
enough
sub
about.
what sub are you gonna post it to try and figure out?
I could probably remember 20. A couple of them pretty unique subs that you frequent. And then I'll try to
can
find
see
your
which
6
ones I
comments.
frequent.
The ones you fucking are following.
Yeah, but those are like not necessarily. I just think followership. That
Does it show followers? Is that public? No.
No.
How would I figure that out?
my username, you'd be.
Yeah, unless you comment, you can't really find
Unless
people.
you'd have to figure out. You have to figure out like which subs I'm most active on, and then you would have to like look through like all the posts and all the comments and be like, which one of these sounds like it can be like two.
That is true.
That's what you'd have to do. It would be like basically impossible.
Well played, too. Well played.
My username's embarrassing too because I made it in high school. So I'll give you a hint. Alright, it's the name of a Grateful Dead song.
Pop my pussy 420. Probably.
Very close.
Yeah,
You're like
that was one of the first songs I learned on guitar.
Very.
Grateful Dead song. Pop my pussy 420. It's like
And then my birthday.
Friend of the Devil or some shit like that. Okay.
Should have been Friend of the Devil. That's way
Yeah,
better.
that's a really awesome song.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite Dead song. I mean, at the time, this was my favorite Dead song. So that's how it is. And it was like my username, and I was like, oh, like what am I just like, you know, what else am I doing right now? You know, it's like, what's your username gonna be? And you're just sort of like looking around you, like, what's my username? Yeah, that's what I got there.
Sweet. Tyranny. What's your first name again?
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. That would be a change once you want to go like the straight and narrow.
That's what my parents were thinking.
So what?
That's what my parents were thinking.
That's what your parents think.
That's why they named me like Elizabeth Turner. Because they were like, you're not gonna want to be named your name when you're like a responsible adult. You're gonna want to go by Elizabeth.
Why did you want to go by Tyranny ever since you were a kid?
No, they just always called me fucking Tyranny. And I was like, you guys have inconvenienced me for my entire life. Like every doctor's office I have to awkwardly be like, oh, it's actually Tyranny if I'm gonna be like with the doctor for a while. Like, otherwise I'll just have them call me Elizabeth and be like weirdly like wait take a second to react to my own name.
So is your acting out a revenge on your parents?
Oh
for
yeah,
fucking
no,
up
I told them that too.
So that was the earliest
I told them
trauma?
that too.
The
I
first
was
trauma was the name confusion and you've been just fucking with them ever since.
I told
Okay, you
them-
gotta
I
fuck with
told
my
them
name.
that. I told them that. I was
I'll
like,
fuck with your emotions, I'll fuck with your
You
money.
guys fucked up my entire life by naming me Tyranny and calling me Tyranny.
Or
And my
maybe they,
signature,
but
too.
when you then appreciate it as a gift, that's when you'll feel bad and that's when you'll start like coming back and regretting all your actions.
Now I'm like one of those annoying people who's like a first name and it's middle name and first name.
Now you're what?
One of those annoying people who's like a first name, it's middle name, first name.
Yeah, but I think no matter what your parents named you, you would have been annoying.
Protest today?
What are they protesting?
The gun.
Oh yeah, the gun protest.
I guess it's, I don't know. Yeah.
Oh shit, that's gonna be over by my neighborhood probably. It's by
I
the
was
park.
just wondering, I mean, I've been here all day, so I haven't like.
They're protesting the guns?
They protested the guns, man.
But that's so stupid because guns don't shoot people, disaffected youth shoot people. They should protest the disaffected youth.
Yeah,
Like,
that
what are
might
they-
need to
the
address
guns-
some mental health things.
Yeah, right? Guns
But
can't
also
fight
guns should
Yeah.
have a few more regulations, you know? Certainly.
But you could always find a gun. There was a guy over here at Equinox, on my Equinox down the street. He was storing like 10 grand worth of guns in the lockers. He worked there. And he was
What?
storing 10 grand worth of guns in the lockers at Equinox that he would then sell to people in Queens and Brooklyn. So he was getting it from the south,
That's insane.
from the gun shows. So like,
You should like report him.
no. He was. I read about this in the paper. This isn't like a friend of mine who's like, no, he like got arrested and like they found him.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I was like,
This isn't like my tip to you. Yeah, I'm just mentioning it to you. What do you think I should do in this situation?
What do you think I should do here?
This is just random. That was actually like an offer. I was trying to segue into
you're
like
trying
a.
to get me to buy
Yes.
a gun.
Buy a gun.
Casual.
Classic. Everyone's
Do you know anyone? Do you know anyone looking for a gun right now?
Well, she said gun protest, and that's a natural segue. Well, if you're in the market, I don't know what side you're on yet. Should have probably waited until you're.
You'll never know. Where are you guys from?
I'm from Carmine and Bleecker.
Oh, another local over here?
72nd Amsterdam.
I'm like from West Virginia, so
Oh.
it's like but like my dad has a gun for like he has guns for hunting and like bows for hunting. And
See,
he has
so you don't want them to take away the
He
guns.
has like a handgun for like personal protection if needed, but I don't know. It's like different down there a little bit. Like he genuinely hunts, you know. But so like I'm like okay, like for hunting, yeah, you know. But automatic, like semi-automatic things, or like
That's
you don't
what-
need to like pulverize that deer or anything.
You're gonna get him with just like the shotgun's
And like
gonna take care of that.
Kinda like,
They say, like,
part
hogs.
of the sport is to like you know. Do
Yeah,
it in like
is
a
to not need an
reasonable
automatic
way,
rifle,
you know?
yeah.
My cousin's like that. My cousin in North Carolina, he's got like the AR-15, whatever crazy assault shit. But he'll like admit it. He's like, it's for the fucking ISIS when they overrun us and blah blah blah. I can defend my homestead, and it's like, all right,
As long as
dude.
nothing
That's
spooks him.
yeah, exactly. But
But
those are crazy machines.
yikes, yeah.
I don't know. We'll see if we see the protests on them. But like, what's cool about that is those are all high school kids, so that's cool. Like it's.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like go on and like try to change the world because the rest of us are fucking starting to give up. So
And like they like a lot of like criticism about the youth of today, millennials and lower, is that like they don't, you know, they'll say things but not do things. And this is like a perfect example of them, you know, not falling into that category.
Yeah.
Like they organize, you know, a protest, which is great.
when given the option, people will join like something good. You just need to give them the option of like.
Yeah. And it needs like I mean, like if I ever try to get anything going, like I just don't have that. Like I don't like draw people in. Like hey, I don't like rile them up. But like some people can, and I think those people.
I could imagine you as a political organizer with like a speakerphone and like. Or what do you call it?
Megaphone.
Megaphone, a speakerphone, microphone, something.
The speakerphone would be like the Bluetooth device.
Yeah, right. Off your phone, you have like your phone up in front of the audience. All right, you guys.
Alright, so I've got so and so on the line here.
That's why I couldn't organize a protest well. 'Cause just over there.
But I think it's so great that they can. Like I mean, they have the right words, the right enthusiasm. They
I
got
think-
the job done. There's a protest happening somewhere.
But mental health stuff. Oh, you know what I was thinking? Instead of protest, yelling and screaming, people should do like fasts.
Oh,
And
this
then
isn't a big fasting country.
no, but like it was like
in Ireland,
I'm up for the fast.
Yeah.
during the the conflict between.
this isn't a big fasting country. That's like the North and South or something.
That should be our motto.
Yeah. In Ireland, they like the people who would stand up and be thrown in jail, like they would be fasting there. That was but that's like the most recent like.
So what I was thinking is like 10,000 people, but instead of going to protest, they fast for a couple days. So that way at the end of it, you actually get more enlightened people. And then if the protest attracts attention, that's secondary. But you just get 10,000 people to get together to elevate their, spiritual, psychic level.
Okay.
And then you now created 10,000 more calm people who can go back into their communities and maybe help. And then it's also an organizing thing. But like you fast during that time too. And so, but then it could also be a form of protest if you got the media right. I was like, that'd be a cool.
Yeah.
Because this type of stuff, they yell on the street, but then you get everyone angrier, and you're not. You're leaving with a certain type of energy.
Just to I think it's important to let off steam, and also for just an acknowledgement of a visual acknowledgement of how many people are interested in such a thing,
Well, fast in public, you could do. I don't know, isn't that good?
Yeah. I mean, that could affect, the economy. Right?
There we go. That would be like a type of, And then my friend told him that. He was like, well, tell me when you're doing the eating one. He was like, you should also feed people. So you do you do the opposite. And you have so instead of protests, people come out for free food and you donate potluck or something like that. Bring people together over food.
Potlucks.
Right?
That's my favorite thing.
Actually, I've never heard of that one. A public potluck for the cause. Right? Look at the word come out.
Pretty weird though,
Yeah, yeah.
how
What's the
when you
negative
have
of that?
a
What's the
potluck
negative
or
of that?
a barbecue and everyone brings chips,
Oh shit! Everyone brings potato salad, but it's like an inside joke.
Like 10,000 people bringing potato chips and dip, salsa and dip, or salsa and dip.
Organized on Reddit.
Yeah, I'll walk in this. All right. Well, thank you so much for the great recommendation. That was a really good tip. Such a beautiful day, and that place has such a good little vibe in it.
Should we go?
Listen up, and I'll tell a story about an artist growing old. Some would try for fame and glory, others aren't so bold, and everyone and friends and family saying, hey, go get a job. Why do you only do that only? Why are you so odd? And we don't really like what you do. We don't think anyone ever will. We think you have a problem, and this problem's made you ill. The artist walks among the flowers, appreciating the sun. He's out there all his waking hours. Oh, and who's to say he's wrong? But the artist walks alone, and someone says behind his back, he's got some gall to call himself that. He doesn't even know where he's at. And they
sit in front of their TV, saying, hey, isn't this a lot of fun? And they laugh at the artist, saying he don't know how to have fun. And listen up, and I'll tell a story about an artist growing old. Some would try for fame and glory, others like to watch the world. Da, 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 da.
Next, on Artbound, a flashback episode from KCET's Vaults, featuring a live reading from the iconoclast poet Charles Bukowski.
What?
The movie on this guy right here.
I'm a poet.
On what?
A poet. You know what poet?
Cola?
A poet. P-O-E-T.
Poet. You're the poet?
I'm the poet.
What are you?
What am I? I'm the
What
poet.
kind of a poet?
Modern.
Hey, listen, have a good birthday, man, okay?
I love you too. Bye.